Welcome back to Andrew's Garage, and we have an exciting one today. We are going to be putting the 5.3 into the 67 for the final time today. This past week I've really been grinding and I've got this made, and I'll give you some of the rundown here, but this is, if you go on Amazon, this is just a Luke like slave cylinder external, and they have an option where you can buy all this stuff pre-done, and it's like $300, but I paid $12 for this and the steel I had laying around, and it made it all work. This is a spring off a brake drum on this truck for the rear, and then it's backed up to a Speedway master cylinder that's mounted on the firewall, and everything works like it should. I did have it mounted to the outside piece here for a while, and it took the full throw of the whole entire pedal in order to get it to release. So I moved it to the inside one, so now it's about 3/4 of the way, and it feels about like it should. So this all works like it should. It's amazing, and when you do these, you got to make sure you do have to run a return spring like this, because you don't want it to ride on that throwout bearing the whole entire time. It needs to be pulled off with the fingers of the actual pressure plate, so that bearing's not spinning, burning it up too quick. So that was kind of one of the tough things, was getting a heavy enough spring, trying to make it all work. So this guy is ready to go in. So the flywheel clutch, pressure plate's all tightened up, motor mounts are done and on there, motor mount brackets are done, and it's just as simple as putting it in and trying not to mess anything else up. So I've already ruined this top fitting here. It bounced off the firewall, broke the clip, and that's non-removable. So when I get a new one, it's gonna have to be put down in there and a hole drilled through here, and maybe a piece of wire or some kind of zip tie going around holding it down tight. So not too happy about that. I'm still gonna work on it a little bit, but to where I might be able to do something, but more than likely that's just kind of gonna be the way that it is. So try not to mess anything else up putting it in, and we will go from there. So let's go ahead and get this guy stabbed up in there. Now, I know what you're thinking. This motor is kind of set down, and it's kind of set pretty far back, and you can tell because how much room I have up here. But I did that for a couple reasons. One, I think having it down and back farther is going to help with the ride and just the feel of the truck. I think that'll help. I didn't mind it too much because it had a truck intake, so it was already taller. So it's kind of sitting about where a breather would be if it had a small block Chevy in a factory. So I'm not too upset about how low it's sitting. Now how far back it's sitting, I'm a little upset with it because I had to notch the firewall and move it back and do all that for it. But I had to do that for a couple reasons, because the valve covers were hitting, and all this could have been preventable if I just moved the motor forward and raised it up a little bit. Then my headers would clear, my Z-bar linkage would have worked originally, but my transmission mount wouldn't have worked, my drive shafts wouldn't have worked, the carrier bearing situation wouldn't have worked. It just messed up a bunch of stuff that was going to cost me a lot of money to do just for a look when I have the room to just move it back. So that was kind of my decision process of just, I really had to think about what I wanted to do, because I really didn't want to do drive shafts and stuff like that. I don't have the money for the transmission or anything like that. So I wanted to use what I have and make sure it all still fits, which now that it's back in the factory location, I know that the transmission mounts are going to work fine. Everything's going to work fine. I had to do the hydraulic throwout bearing, of course, which is no big deal because I did the external slave cylinder and made a bracket. I'm going to go underneath there and make sure it's not hidden because it looks freaking close. But overall, I'm tickled pink with just the way all this stuff worked out. So other than the fact of breaking that and the chain leaning up against this and making it leak, so I'm hoping everything's still okay with it, but we shall see. That's that regulator there. So anyways, pretty much my goals for today is just to get it all bolted down, tightened up, so it's not going anywhere. And then I want to make up a rear fuel door and get it through the floor. See what I need to get there. So not too much stuff, and we'll go ahead and get to it. This is kind of my cheap way to mount this fuel system. So as you remember, the gas tank's underneath this bed right here. And I went ahead and mounted the hoses on it. So the fuel pump's in it, the lines are ran up to the fuel filter regulator that's on the frame rail somewhere in here. So that's all done. And I have the vent line ran, the big 5/8 one. And then I have a small charcoal vent line ran over here. And then also have the tube. Look through here, you can see the frame. So basically I have a short piece of tube for the filler. So that's 1.75 inch inside diameter. And it's running across the frame rail right in here, and it's sticking out about 3 or 4 inches. So it gives me plenty of meat to hook up to without having to get underneath this bed. So that's all hose clamped and tight and everything's done there. So I just need to figure out a way to make it from here over to here. And this is kind of my idea for the location, was to attach it to the inside bed frame here where it's not in the way, even if I want to haul 4x8 sheets of plywood, if I want to do anything. More than likely nothing is going to cover this over here. As far as outside of the wheel tub area. So I think that's about where I'm going to try to put it. It might raise up a little bit, but overall I think that is the spot that I'd like to see it at. So I'm going to get to making a piece, so it's going to be 6 inches, 6 inches wide and 12 inches tall, which is about there. And I'll try to come up with some kind of door that flips up or something. So this has coverage from the weather. Is my understanding, which I don't think water would ever get in it, but just for my peace of mind, I'll go ahead and do that. So like I said, 6 inches, 12 inches long. I got to measure for the back distance here. If I did 6 inches, then it would be, I can mount it all kinds of spots. So I'll do that. 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches by 12 inches is what I need to make. I need to have a flange on it, bent, so I can attach it here since it's double wall. I'll just self-tapper it so I can always have easy access to it later on. So let's get to making it up and now going through the cycle of using what I have, which isn't a lot anymore. This is a old pan that I was making a new Model A tailgate. It was a truck, and I messed up, the bead roller messed up right here. And it shifted, the wheel shifted and messed it up. So this is the panel that I got, and it'll almost not get into the bead roll, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get making this guy. All right, so I kind of got it marked out. It's looking a little insane, but I kind of understand it. So basically what I got to do is slit down each one of these to that line each way. That's the lip that I'm going to bend. And this is the bend mark that bends around. These will bend out 90 like this. So I have to cut this square out of here, cut that square out all the way around. So everything gets the lip to screw to the inside of the panel, and then everything gets a lip on the top side too. So I can make a top bracket that's just gonna sit flush. So now I just gotta figure out a way to get this bent without making it look really bad. So probably clamping on the wood and see what happens. Now this is not the way to do this. The bender is really nice, but if you're in a pinch, this is probably gonna work decent. Bend it around. Now the rest I should be able to do with the vise. Just got to run the slits up here real quick, and we should be ready to bend that. Now one of these has to bend down, the other one has to bend, well, they both have to bend, but this one has to bend down, this one has to bend out. So, got to remember that as we're going. Like that. And turn these the wrong way. Just like that, you can be a professional like me. Nothing more than a couple hammers, vise, board. Alright, let's go set it in, see how it looks. Basically, So now we just have to cut a top for it after I square it out a little bit. Perfect. That should mount up below it. I'll make sure to bring it as far as I can over. All right, so I roughly just eyeballed the center there, did the half moon, marked it. Eyeball should be close enough. I know if I didn't weld that hole up, I would be devastated, but there it is, mounted. It's gonna be a pain to get that hose on there, but it'll go. So, just like that. There you have it. Box goes in the corner, so I think it'll look pretty good. Just got to get it marked out, get the hole cut through the floorboard, and then we can start installing some hoses. Looks good. It looks fine to get some bed liner on it. Never know. Go over here to the engine compartment. So everything's installed except for I need to hook back up my hydraulic line for my throwout bearing. But other than that, that's no big deal. So I'm happy with the way everything's kind of working out here. Everything's looking good. Motor's installed. It actually has the weight on it now. Doesn't look awful in there. Plenty of room for activities. But also forgot to mention that I have the bed just sitting on there, which I guess you noticed that, but yeah, I got the bed sitting back on there. One thing I will probably do is sand the bottom of that, repaint it white to make it match where I actually did body work and stuff like that, because there's a big difference over here in the whites compared to over here, because this side is clearly better. Get that put back on there. She's golden. Everything's kind of coming back together here. A little blue. This side, as you can tell, looks better with the white matching up, but overall, I'm happy with it. It's coming along. It's actually not too far off realistically, but it's still got a ways to go. So, all right, that's what I'm calling it for today's video. We got the motor installed. We got the fuel system almost buttoned up. The hydraulic throwout bearing everything's all working, and it's coming together nicely. So not too much longer, this baby will be driving down the road. But thanks for watching Andrew's Garage. Don't forget to tune in next week for another episode. Till then, we'll see you later.